Okay, so here we are with, what is this, After Party 14?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Wow.
That's right.
A lot of after parties.
We're going to go over sessions 42, Clash of the Titans, Part 1. 43, you'll never guess, Clash of the Titans, Part 2. And 44, A Hair's Breadth. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hair's breath is about. I liked the 3 bears of hairs, but... Or snares, sorry.
Probably should have been something... Was that the one where we put it in its eye?
Yes, that is the one where you guys experimented with the bunny.
Yeah. I think it's probably been the most uncomfortable I've been on the entire series so far.
Because of the bunny?
Yeah. Everything else I can take.
That's because you haven't listened to a lot of Falzer and Isabella one-on-one sessions.
Right.
Oh, no. Oh,
I don't know what's being put into what and those things, but I don't want to listen.
NPC romances.
And we are, of course, joined by our guest, NBC Adelaide. Thank you so much for coming back for the after party.
Hello. So excited. It was such a fun time.
And Knick-Knack, actually. Knick-Knack's with her.
Knick-Knack's a fan favorite
Knick-Knack,
now.
I have to say, so Knick-Knack is actually... all the references that I made were an homage to one of my favorite games on Tuesday. Our paladin has a magical find steed named Knick-Knack. I was like, I'm going to have Knick-Knack in the show.
Oh,
so.
cool.
I figured when I asked you to name off some people, you rattled them off pretty quick, so they must be...
I did. That's my party. That's my Tuesday game party. Yep. We're about to start our second season of our campaign next Tuesday, so
Awesome.
gonna be fun.
Well,
It's like 10 years in the
Let's
future.
save the plugs for the end, okay? Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get into where we started. I think it was 42. So I believe we were starting to take the dive down into the cave is where the episode starts with Falzarin, who sort of dove down there and found an open spot and sort of drug us all down in there to take a look, right?
Yep. Drugged you all.
Except for our good friend Brindle, who I believe we were going to forget multiple times, but
Yeah.
we did go back and get him.
Yeah, y'all just left him out there.
Couldn't see in the
didn't you?
dark. Poor Brendel.
I don't know what happened before, but y'all just seemed to leave him out
The most suspenseful part is when you went back out and Brindle wasn't there
Yeah.
for
I thought so.
It legitimately
just a few
was.
seconds, and then it was, oh, there he is.
And my hopes were dashed.
It was like I shouldn't be surprised.
Why do you say that, Emily? Brendel's like the best NBC we've had.
Gozer's got it out for Brendel.
Gozer wants to kill Brendel.
Those are wants to kill everything, I think.
That's true.
So I was worried I was gonna die.
Yeah, maybe we should dive in right there. What was your first impression of the party when you first met him?
Well, it's better than nothing, you know.
Can we use that as one?
Better than nothing.
No, it was a very interesting eclectic mix that I don't actually see a lot in D&D campaigns, so it was fun. It's always fun, like starting out the guest experience where you're scared for your fucking life and have to attack your fellow party members, all of which are much stronger than you are. So,
Oh, I think you were pretty well equipped to fend for yourself there.
she's got some tricks up her sleeve, but I don't think anything could go against the half orc, the orc, full half orc.
I'm like,
Yeah, when
I'm a little bit shook still. You're like, it's an eclectic group. Like, that's when someone's like, are they good looking? You're like, yeah, they got a good personality. That's how I feel like you. That's how I feel you just did us, man.
I mean, I debated bringing in my character that would have just flirted the fuck out of with all of you, you know. So
People are like, how's
That
the
was on the
Incorrigible
table.
party? You're like, they really try to be nice guys, you know. They got.
they're all fabulously good looking.
Yeah, we're not the most cohesive group, that's for sure.
Well, you know, it works. It works.
Sort of, yeah. We're all still alive, so there's that.
Well, not all of us.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Tough.
That's next episode. That's the TPK's next episode. I heard.
Press F.
I feel like we say that every after party. We've had some losses in the past. Yes, that is true. And I'm sure none will hit as hard as our very first one. Poor Thufty. But yeah, I thought it was, knowing Adelaide's RPG background, I figured it was easy for me to make a character and throw down and we'll see what happens. Because it's nice when you're able to cater to your guest. And I think I try to do that as much as I can when I give the guest the information ahead of time, right? But you never really know. But so I thought it turned out great. I thought you guys zeroed in on the Nyoge, and I thought you would try to hit Orlane and not to knock her out of it, as opposed to going through the whole HP pool of this spider eel thing. So I thought that was funny.
To be fair, she doesn't look very evil, so.
That was Falzarin's call. He's like, I think we need to focus on these insects, or whatever he said. I'm pretty sure it was Falzarin.
He's just apparently in love with every NPC woman, so it's whatever. So, it makes sense,
Yeah.
I think he's just being smart about it like Falzarin does.
Yeah, my plan was just to walk by everybody, but I think my problem was I talked, right? Because you did mention, once you started talking, that's when the spider thing sort of took notice.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true, Mr. DM? Or would I have been able to walk right by with
No.
With my tattoo? Ah, well, okay, that's a shame.
My tattoo went out. That was one of the best
That's right.
lines in the whole thing.
Oh,
It was so good.
He drew it on. That's right.
Hey, hi. Shaft kept having lines like, hi. We're like, that's it?
Actually, those are my favorite Shaft lines whenever John does that, because he does it all the time. Every time you approach something, it's like, hey, hi. It's like, oh, man. So, yeah, you've managed to knock Orlane out of it at least, killing the Nyoge.
Mm-hmm.
Broke the spell.
Remember our last encounter with the Nyogi? Well, that was what it was, right? With the wagon? They were the same creatures.
That's right, yeah.
I didn't think at the time that the Nyogi were the one, charming people. I thought it was maybe, the bard.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah.
I thought it might be Julvi as well.
Julvi,
yeah.
yeah. So it was kind of
yeah.
interesting to be, looking back, it might have been them charming as well.
Well, they both end in E, so.
Yeah.
There you go.
Julvi
No,
was an
that's
orc,
true.
though, or what was he?
He was
Darkling. What he?
Yeah, he was a Darkling.
Darkling Bard.
And no, that totally makes sense, though, because he did try to use some of his bardic charm on Shaft, and
Yeah.
it failed. Something
And
very
me as well, yeah.
similar to what the Nyogi do, but not quite the same thing. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very bardish thing to do, right? Kind of charm people or kind of get them to do your bidding type thing.
We had some wagon PTSD, though, but it's all right. It's probably not the last wagon we're going to see.
Yeah, Falzarin always starts to sweat a bit when he sees a wagon.
At least you're consciously seeing the wagon instead of being
Well, that's the
shoved
trouble.
in
If
when
I
I'm
happen to get knocked
conscious.
out, you fools are going to drag me into the back of a wagon.
That was so fun.
It's not about the destination, it's about the journey,
Yeah.
okay?
So I got the impression that Orlane had been under this charm spell for some time. A matter of days at least.
Potentially? I don't know. That's all Leland.
Just say
Right,
it,
right.
make it
I
canon.
know
you
that I did end up there. But as far as how long I'd been under the charm, I actually don't know.
You did recognize the orcs that you were with when you did come out of the spell.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some history there. And
Oh yeah, we fought.
Yeah.
I lost.
So then we traveled up and we went and saw an old friend of Gozer's, and some trouble ensued there. Anybody have any thoughts on that encounter with our good friend Clash?
Well, I'm surprised that Clash got out of it with his life, quite honestly. I am incredibly surprised.
Well,
I would have defended that guy to the death.
stinking little elf got in my way, wouldn't let me pass. I don't know how.
Redemption Paladins, man.
And then he wasn't worth it.
Everybody deserves a chance to live, okay?
He wasn't worth my effort. once I
Yeah,
calmed down.
I was interested in, like, asking you what was going on in Gozer's mind or your mind as Gozer when you, like, decided to lay your axe down.
He was weak. He wasn't at his strongest. If I had beaten him then, it wouldn't have meant anything.
That
But it
makes
doesn't
sense.
mean much now anyway, right? There's no tribe.
That wasn't the point.
It's a vengeance thing.
I think I said something like that. It wouldn't be a good death to kill him chained to a wall. Give him a weapon, let him die.
At this point, he was unchained, though, and she
Yeah, I mean,
lowered her weapon.
Yeah, even then, he was already defeated, essentially.
Yeah, well, I mean, it honestly hasn't been very long since Gozer had left the Vorgrag Mountains, and even in the short time since you were basically exiled, like, it was clear to Gozer that Clash was not the same Clash bone collector that
No.
that had defeated Gozer. Like, obviously, the struggle with the Nyogi has certainly taxed Clash to almost his breaking point. I mean, even his voice.
Oh, that's what started the whole thing. That's why Gozer went off the way she did, because of Liana. But, I don't know, it just, after I had a chance to not be raging anymore, it wasn't worth it.
Did I retell your history okay to everyone else? Because everyone else wasn't fully aware.
That actually pissed Gozer off, too, because you were basically demeaning her. I know you.
I didn't think I was, though.
That
for
wasn't your
real.
intention, I know, but that's the way that she kind of took it, is you were saying her failings. So, she wasn't too
When
happy.
I thought I was just saying why.
Right.
That's okay. Shaft had your back.
Yeah, for once.
Shaft. What do you mean? Shaft always has everybody's back in sight.
We love interplay
Shaft,
conflicts.
you are the Peter Dinklage of our party, okay? You literally have your little Tyrion hands in every single thing. You are leading us, oh, let's go to Pisces. And you're thinking, oh, we'll just kill so-and-so or not kill so-and-so and be on our way. You literally are swaying every one of our decisions.
Thanks.
We sit there arguing. We sit there arguing for 30 minutes about what to do, but it's always what Shaft wants to do that we end up doing.
Well, I typically start walking a direction and then everybody just follows.
Yeah.
I think that you have more secrets and, like, scheming to your ways.
Nah. I think he's just
He is smart.
He's decisive.
Yeah.
He's not. Yeah. He bases his decision off of a few facts that he knows and isn't worried about sitting around and hypothesizing about doing this or that or the other. It's like, okay, this is.
But he's got his hand in all these little, like, pots, you know? He's like, all right, whatever one's hot.
Right. No, I think that's. Yeah, I think he has everybody's best interest in mind. Ultimately, it just doesn't look that way.
Everyone but Clash's best interest.
Well, I saw Gozer. I didn't know who Clash was. I didn't know anything about him, but Gozer wanted to kill him, and I figure if it's an orc that Gozer didn't want around, it would be good to eliminate him, right? I didn't want to ask a lot of questions. I didn't really care.
That's very Shaft.
Of course, until Clash mentioned the name Horik.
Yeah, then I
Right.
was. I did stop short there, didn't I? But then again, only to get enough information that I needed, and then after that, I believe I said, "Okay, kill him."
Yeah. Also, typical Shaft.
Just kill him if they don't suit his needs. Is he the murder hobo?
No, Shaft is not a murder hobo, no. But Shaft is literally like, okay, now I've gotten my use out of you. I'm doing you
Whatever,
a favor by
yeah.
ending your existence because you'll never be as useful as you have been in the past 5 minutes talking to me. So.
That's once again fair.
But of course, Shaft knows to surround himself with the type of people that would be like, okay, let's kill this guy. So
I'm probably the most peaceful of the party. I'm most against violence. I want to talk
More
it through.
so than Falzarin? I don't think so.
Yeah, come on, man.
was gonna say, do y'all
I don't
agree
know.
with that?
Falzarin, I think, is turning over a new leaf.
Falzarin's a
think
little
so,
magic
too.
hungry. He's got this pocket full of beads, and
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we nuked those bugs
got
into
a pocket
orbit.
full of hawthorns.
There was like
only
women
Orlane
and
knows
children
about
bugs.
the bead that he threw. But
Yeah,
We just genocided an entire.
that might be
species.
true. Ever since this Isabella deal has come along, I think Falzarin's yet again evolved a little bit.
You're promised a position with the Golden Girls, basically.
That's right.
Join the club.
Immortality, more or less.
Join us, but you have to
right?
get rid of Hecka.
How old is Betty White now?
97.
130?
97?
I think she's 97.
96?
I'll Google it.
She's nearly 100.
Yeah.
She's got my birthday. I mean, I've got her.
She looks like she's in great shape, too.
I digress.
New NPC for Falls Run to hit on Betty White. That's it.
97. I am so smart, you
wow.
guys. January 17th,
Go, Betty.
baby.
Mine's January 19th. Oh my gosh.
Gosh.
Almost birthday twins. And my
Listeners,
birthday
is your
with
birthday
Dolly
January
Parton,
18th?
so-
Because if it is, we need to be besties right away. I've always wanted to have a 17, 18, 19 party. You want to come to Canada?
That's fascinating.
Yeah? I love Canada. I've never been. I love the idea of Canada.
Everyone loves the idea.
I feel like a lot of
Canada.
Americans
It
say
could
that
be
these
shit.
days.
You never know. I love the idea of it. In theory, theoretically, I love Canada.
I love it. I forget what we were even talking about.
Shaft being a murder hobo, confirmed murder hobo, I think is what we had
Confirmed, yes.
settled on.
Yeah,
I don't know.
confirmed murder
Has
hobo.
Shaft killed anybody straight out for no reason? I don't think
No,
so.
because you attack them, then you hunters mark them. You always forget.
Well, yeah.
That's how averse to killing Shaft is. He always forgets that hunter's mark. It's like, oh,
And
I'm
he's
supposed
like,
to be
and I'm going to
hunting.
place hunter's mark. Oh, I should have done that first. If I had $1 for every time he's...
I do that all the time. All the time. I've been playing the Ranger for a year now, and I still do that. So, it's fun.
Oh, boy.
It's funny because it's true.
You need like a physical hunter's mark now that's just like a fake sign over the forehead.
Well, he's got
Yeah.
a sign on his
Yeah.
forehead still.
And then it lights up, when it's active. It's good. You'll never forget.
So I think we let all the orcs go, and we picked up all the weaponry and stuff. There was a shield I think Orlane had that was a special shield, right?
It's a special shield. It's not magical, but, it's important to her. She's a paladin.
And then we went on the long hike for a number of miles out to the cave exit, where I believe at that point we pretty much just argued for a while. I think actually there's probably about 20 to 30 minutes cut out of that, right, Leland?
Until Shaft walks a direction, and
never
like I
argue.
said...
We never argue about anything.
No, we discussed.
Yeah, I mean, no, the editing's never, not that much. But like, Clash tried to give Orlane an out, and like Clash wanted to team up with Orlane. Because of course,
I would have gone.
Orlane basically
To the ends of the earth.
saved his life, right?
No, basically to it. He would have been dead.
Nah, you would have been fine.
No, he would have been dead.
I would have gone to go live with some orcs.
He
the only
would
elf
have
in a
been
group of orcs.
dead.
Yeah.
I think at that point we decided we were going to. Now, I can't recall. Did Orlane head back down towards the towers, and she is on a mission to try to get us some boxes?
That's right.
As far as we know, correct?
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah, she's heading south.
Okay,
And then we're gonna meet in Pisces.
Yeah.
that's right. Okay, and the orcs went back north, I believe. Did they say exactly where they were headed?
No, they didn't. But they were taking the saved humans back to the city, and then they were gonna go find Hork. Probably. I don't know. I don't think Clash explicitly said that, but
No, my assumption was Hork. The way I understood it was Hork was the leader of one of the, I guess, remaining tribe of orcs that were fighting against the, whatever you call those, Neogis.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay. And yeah. So I think I've said in one of the episodes that I do know Hork from my past.
You said it when we were inspecting the orc that was dead, that was being dragged by the horse or something, right? Or
Yeah, you said it in that episode, and then
Yeah.
So I think that was session 6, and then session 7, you guys actually spoke to an orc driving a wagon out
Yeah.
of Drew Call
right.
to Alton Chick, and you asked him if he knew Horik, in which he said that Horik was doing fine and that he in fact does know him.
Yeah, so there is a connection there, and it's good for Shaft to know that Horik is still alive. I mean, part of Shaft wanted to go follow the orcs back to find Horik, so there would be another side mission that we knew we would all argue about.
Another side mission that doesn't pay.
I could just annoy Bryn some more.
Well, that's easy.
Bryn is like so. These are the 3 episodes where it really like surfaced, like her annoyance, no magical items, not like just.
Oh, she was all about those magical items.
I just
And there was nothing there.
Need a
Just led us to
payday.
that cave for
Yeah.
chicken shit.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, listener, the next batch of 3 episodes, man, does Bryn get feisty about
That's true.
being led off into fucking goose
So I'm like,
chases.
it's finally come to surface. Oh yeah,
No,
the
we
goose
find all
chase.
kinds of magical items in the next ones.
Oh,
Yeah,
right, I'm
so
So
sorry. I'm
much
so sorry.
treasure.
And Bryn's definitely alive. Yeah.
And she just, like, Scrooge McDucks through it, swims through it. So much treasure.
Yes. Doing the breaststroke.
I have a feeling Leland will never give us magical items just so Bryn can continue to be pissed off about not getting magical items.
It's a character flaw that I like to hide my true feelings in.
You know, it's funny because Falzaren has not been too upset about the one thing that he's always been wanting.
I
is
know, it's
magical items.
weird.
Yeah. Well,
That's what he wants most. Is
Oh,
magical
Falsey
items.
Oh, yeah.
loves the magic
He
item.
is
Can't get
corrupted
enough
by
of the
that.
magic item.
Falzarin also forgets that he has magical items very often.
Yeah, that's true.
You're just a board game collector, but you never play anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Big
I know.
A big shelf
Yeah.
of shame of magical items. That
Yeah, it's called a bag of
haven't been
holding.
used.
That's right.
Yeah, you're
A bag
carrying
of
around
shame.
a potion of guiding, or a scroll of guiding bolt from like
Yeah,
session
totally forgot
5
I
or
had
something.
They were like, oh, what about those fanged arrows? Oh yeah.
Wand of Secrets that I also often forget I can use. Yeah.
Yep.
And then when you remember it's not a time that's really good for using it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, that's hashtag wizard life, I guess.
Yeah.
Wizards be whizzin'.
There you go. So then we took a little walk up the top of the mountain and looked down on the lake, trying to find where the black ooze liquid was coming from. Decided to head out and get a boat, and while we were there, maybe check out and see if we can get any information about Erica.
Don't
Yeah.
forget about our bunny test.
Oh yeah, and the bunny test. You can tell that. That disgusts me.
3 bear snares.
Yeah, the 3 bear snares.
That was awesome.
You know what? Yeah, 3 Bear Snare is a much better title. You're right. I like
I'm telling you. Yeah, why did we have to go all the way to Pissus for a boat? Like, that then we have to, like,
Somehow
sail
get
down.
back to the lake. We can't just take the river down because the
stupid.
river goes under the mountain, and we have to be underwater in order to.
You don't know
We
that.
don't
It
know
might go
that.
through.
We don't
do
know
know
that.
that.
We had a big discussion about it.
We do
We
know
talked
that
about
because
it
we had to
for
go
ad
underwater
nauseum.
to get in the mountain.
No. You're confused. So that tunnel is. That tunnel. That wasn't supposed to be. That wasn't supposed to be condescending.
What? No, that's great. I
But
say
in
it all the
case
time.
Listen, you're wrong.
I believe you are. So that tunnel that branched to the Nyogi cave was like a branching tunnel.
Oh, okay.
The rest of that, so where the actual river flows. I mean, you guys only investigated so far, right? So, from what you've seen, there's like room in that river tunnel for a boat to float in and you to travel down. But there's still a large section of that, that is, unexplored to you guys, and you don't know for sure.
All the treasure was down the other fork.
Here you go. You guys
right.
went left when you should have went right.
Right. We will guide the Thuff down through the river, and you'll see what we're talking about.
Well, Leyland, you mentioned off mic how one opportunity when I could have used my Wand of Secrets. I mean, these are a few episodes ago, but I definitely have had opportunity to use it and have missed them.
When Are you gonna mention the? Are you just gonna keep us on our
Suspense.
Yeah.
People dig it. No, yeah, when we were on top of that little dam thing, I could have... There might have been something there that we couldn't see or that was magically hidden or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where the treasure was, and now we have to backtrack all the way.
Just add it to the list of side
Well, you got to
quests.
go get your boat, and then you can come back and then use your one of
Perfect.
secrets.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Shaft dished out 50 gold for a boat.
We
Oh, yeah,
we
for
thank you,
sure.
Chef.
That's an expensive boat.
Yeah.
Everything in this land is expensive.
Whoa. 50 gold for
Everything in this
a
land
rowboat
is
is
Aspara is the
very
bougiest
moderate.
of all.
Every hotel tavern room we stay in is super expensive for nothing.
He doesn't
That
like
better
to
be a
break
nice
gold
boat.
pieces. It's 1 gold piece or nothing.
Yeah, there's no change in Aspara.
There is no
They
change.
abolished the penny
Is a gold piece.
years ago. There's no pennies.
We have never dealt with anything lower than a gold piece.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't
No,
thought
I
of
don't.
that.
It's not like I charge you. I mean, we hand wave you guys paying for things at taverns and stuff, so it balances out.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Fair enough.
The lies that the newbie D&D players get fed.
The experienced ones
Yeah, experienced ones get
We
those
just-
lies too.
know that they're lying.
Well, it's not... We've had, a decent trickle of gold coming our way so that it's...
I'll just mention,
I've been hovering around being on and off broke, but I've usually got some money to buy stuff.
Bryn would have stole a boat.
That's all that matters
You
to
didn't
me.
have to pay for a boat. Bryn could have stole ya a boat.
Braden was all about stealing that boat.
Yeah.
I know that.
And I wouldn't have got no rowboat. I would have got a yacht, son.
Oh boy.
I just want to point out to the thieves in the group that Gozer still has money on her.
I mean, how long does the return policy last? For the boat.
That's a valid question.
You had like 2 weeks on that baby.
I think once you put your name on it, it's yours,
I
right?
don't- I put
It's
Thuft's
actually
name on
called
it.
Thuft, but it's spelled like Shaft.
That's right.
Well, I mean, you guys finally made it to Pisces, though.
That was an accomplishment.
Surprised
Are we
that.
supposed to cheer for that? Or?
Well, I'm just surprised that I didn't expect you to be in Pisces as quickly as you did. I mean, I don't know. I had no idea what you guys were going to do, but I thought it was going to be a stretch for Falzer and to talk y'all into going to Pisces.
Yeah, same. I'm surprised at kind of how easily that happened.
I sort of said, I believe I said, I know you really don't want to go to Pisces. And he went, yeah, I guess we can go.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like,
I'm
what?
not excited.
Well, and then, like
Not
you said,
excited
the
at
next
all.
3 episodes, Bryn is pretty pouty.
Yeah.
So,
Gozer really doesn't have anything else to do. So she might as well.
Hey, it's a place.
Yep.
I'm sure we'll find another bunch of side adventures we can tackle to get our level up high enough to go tackle these towers eventually. And when we get some more boxes from Elaine, we'll be perfect. Good timing.
Hopefully they're on the way. You never know.
FedEx them to us.
FedEx, yeah.
send Knick-Knack. Pony Express.
There you go, Pony
Yeah,
Express.
Pony Express. Pony Express.
So that's pretty much where I think the last episode ended. So just
Yeah.
generally,
That doesn't feel like a lot happened.
there was a lot, but yeah, you're right. It was a lot of talking and a lot of.
A lot of memories.
We had some battles in there too. So
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Brent had a little something on the way to Pisces as well. Not that any of
What?
you listened
You mean
to
that chunk
though.
of time we couldn't listen to?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Oh, mine was short.
That's true. It was.
There was
short.
a Shaft and Falzer in something too.
Oh, right. I have
There
my
may have been.
suspicions.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah,
I'll go on record. I think it's about Horik.
it might be.
That means
We
no.
were just comforting each other about the tragic loss of Thuft.
Well,
Bullshit.
I find that
Man
hard
to
to
man.
believe because
Bill
you
has
didn't
brought up Thuft 3 times.
you didn't even let Brendel listen in. You even shooed your buddy Brendel away there, Falsey.
Yeah.
The one person that has had your back since you encountered him.
I don't think that's
does
true.
that
I think
work?
Shaft had his back from the very beginning.
Wait, Leland, did you listen?
I mean, he edited it. So.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, how do you shoo Brendel away, quote unquote?
Well, because Brendel doesn't know what they spoke about.
But Brendel does know, because you're Brendel.
No, he's Leland.
Don't look behind the curtain. So, Adelaide, overall, what do you think of this little moment in time of this adventure? What was your
Do you
take
have
on
any
it?
suggestions?
Honestly,
for us, or-
I had a blast. I know some of y'all are newer players, but I couldn't tell. I got pretty good newbie radar, so I think it's a great show.
Great.
Thank
It's
you.
a lot of fun. It's a lot of laughs. Some nice serious moments. It's perfect blend for me.
I think being this is 40. What did you say? The last one was 44. 44 episodes in, with after parties and such in there too. But overall, I think Bill and Elena sort of went right into it and are doing a great job doing the role playing. I think a lot of groups don't role play quite as much. They do more of the the battle.
And that's the good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the good stuff.
And I wish I would have got involved initially with more role playing instead of just the tactical battle part of it. But I do know when we do role playing for 3 or 4 episodes, I'm ready for a battle, right?
Oh yeah.
You need to have a good mix, I think, of the two.
I think everybody's that way, really. So, did you start out on like AD&D?
Yeah, I started back in the early 80s.
Oh, then that's like no role play, really. So.
Right. Well, we were, teenagers, so we were just whatever we could kill or,
Right.
it was just
Dungeon crawl 24/7.
exactly. It was fun though.
When are we no longer considered noobs? Because 44 hours worth of play is a pretty long amount of play.
I was about to say, I think 44th episode by now, I officially deem you not newbies.
Oh, snap. From the queen of roleplay herself.
Whenever Falzern's rolling D6s instead of D4s, I still think you fall back a little bit on your...
No,
To be fair, I'm bad with the dice too. I play all online. I don't play anything in person. I've got pretty dice because they're pretty, but I still have to look at it and be like, is this?
So the one time...
Is this it?
You thought it was D6s, but it was D4s. And then another time you thought it was
didn't roll
D8s,
enough.
but it was D8s, but you were rolling 6s.
Yeah.
One of your fireball spells, was it this episode?
Damage is, it's kind of a...
Who needs to do damage in combat?
I don't think it was these episodes. I think it's even further along where you realized you were doing all your skill checks wrong, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
He
yes, we
wasn't
had some...
adding-
Oh no.
He
we had
wasn't
some-
adding any of
yeah,
his
that's
proficiencies.
true.
Oh no. You could have been rolling so much
To
better.
be fair, I don't think it's significantly impacted anything because we do a
No,
lot
probably not.
of role playing, especially as of late. I mean, honestly, the fight with Orlane, short as it was this breath of fresh air into this stagnant role play span of episodes of 10 episodes, right? Now, not that I feel that way because I could throw combat out entirely. I'll take the RP all day long.
I didn't know we had 10 episodes without a fight.
I don't even know if it was 10. I'm just spit.
Oh.
That's a number.
I think the last battle was probably at the dam.
Yeah, it would have been. That's right. But from there, we had Thuff's death. We had all of that role play. Maybe it wasn't that many episodes, but it was a lot of role play and a lot of role play moments that had a large impact that take up more space than 2 episodes of something else would, right?
In your other groups, do you do a lot of more role play than battle, or do you think it's a 50-50 split, or what do you think?
All of my groups are generally 60-40 or 70-30 in favor of roleplay, and I think I prefer that. We just one of my games, we just got done with a huge dungeon crawl that took 4, maybe 5 episodes, and even in the middle of the dungeon, we still had little moments where we had deeper conversations between the characters, and I don't know. I can't play games without roleplay. That's the juicy stuff for me.
Do you
I love
always
it.
do voices?
Yeah. I think only one of my characters now does not have an accent, and it's just my normal voice.
All right, give us some character play real quick. Give us a little sample.
Oh my god, this is so hard because it's so hard swapping back and forth. But of course, you had Orlane that had a nice Irish accent. Arsino, my Grave Paladin, also has the same voice. Then we have Bliss, who's quite a bit RP, and it's very difficult to get into. From Irish, I play a Cuban character that I really cannot do on the spot. It takes like all day to prep for. And then the new Polish character that I just crashed course myself for literally a one-shot. I'm doing all this work for just a one-shot.
Oh, that's awesome. I would love to do that, to spend, like, dedicate some time to try and master an accent for role-playing. I think that
I would love for you to do that, Bill.
That would be
I can't even imagine. Like, I
Do
can't. I can't even.
I've thought of...
Seriously,
I mean,
like the best way is just binge watching
Yeah.
a movie or a TV show that's got it. Like when I play my very posh character, I watch Downton Abbey like
right.
a couple episodes before the show, and
Ah.
then follow along with all the voices, and that's it. You know.
Oh, man.
I do a fair bit of commuting, so, I mean, that's great time to practice out loud an accent, I think. I've heard other people
Yeah.
say that they do...
Just talk to yourself aloud. That's it.
Yeah.
I think you'd need to do it alone, too, because I'd make fun of you too much.
Well, yes, naturally.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what wives are good for, is just making fun of.
Yeah.
So, Adelaide, I was going to ask you, we've had this conversation before in other after parties. Do you prefer to play characters that have more of your characteristics as you, or do you like to play things that are opposing you, the characters?
Ooh, that's kind of a mix of both. There's things about my characters that all have in common. If we want to get really real here, so I struggle with infertility, so all of my characters have children or have children later on down the road, and that's just a me thing. I enjoy having children in my RPGs. And also, I'm not religious, and I think one of my characters now is very religious, and it's so difficult for me because it's just a mindset that I'm not familiar with at all.
Uh-huh.
But all of my characters are really different. I have some that are very standoffish and mean, and I have some that are just wear their heart on their sleeves. I love puppies and kittens, and I want to be everybody's best friend, which is much more close to what I'm like in person. So I don't know. I like to mix it up. I really challenge myself to create a very distinct character every single time, with a few similarities.
It's great
I guess,
to be
but-
able to explore different types of people. You know, you get to get into the mindset of those other other characters. That's what I really like.
It's a challenge, but it's a challenge remembering everything about all of them. But no, I like mixing it up. I'm good at the meaner ones though, for some reason. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Like the ones that are just like super standoffish and like really aggressive. Because that's
how we all want to be on the inside anyway.
Yeah, it's fun to let that out.
You get more reaction.
The
I think.
resting bitch face of RPGs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bottle that up all the time because you can't, like in real life,
Your
you can't let that
RBF
out.
of RPG. Yeah.
The big emo characters, gotta love it. What about y'all?
I like to try to find. I mean, something different each time. I think Shaft is manipulative, which could be part of my characteristics. I don't know, Emily, to have to say
It is.
if that is.
I was about to ask you, is it?
I enjoy the puzzle Shaft creates, right? For the different things I have to think about. That's what I enjoy. The depth of, and I even, like I said, when I started the character, I wanted sort of a mix between a sort of a Han Solo and a Mad Max kind of guy that is always you're always iffy on which way he's going to go. And, sometimes I don't know myself until the moment hits, and then I'm going to go, well, what would be?
I love the morally gray characters. That's the best time.
Yeah, those are my favorite too. So yeah, that's what I typically like to go for. But I have different types. I have a warlock who's more of the teenager that's down in the basement kind of thing, right? And all he cares about is just like learning how evil he can be, that kind of thing. And how he can make his parents
It's not a
upset with
phase,
him.
Mom.
That's exactly right. So that's fun to play that one too. But
Yeah, I don't think I stretched myself too much with Falzarin. I think you can make a lot of similarities. If and when I do another character, I want to spend more time really making it something different that's going to challenge me more. There are definitely differences between me and Falzarin, but
Well, and we've spoken about this before.
Yeah.
How I think that Falzarin, of the four of you, is certainly the character that has had the most, I wouldn't say growth. I don't know if you could, that's the right word, but definitely change. No,
Change,
but I mean,
maybe not
normally
growth.
when you say growth, it's usually in a positive light, but that's always not necessarily the case.
No, I don't think it's all been
Falsey's
positive.
been corrupted.
But I think Falsey has definitely gone through the most changes of all of you, and I think you're doing a great job at reflecting that in the way you roleplay him. And that's, again, that's either you just being more comfortable as a player in general and getting more of a handle on who you think Falzarin is, and being better at separating Falzarin from Bill. I just think I'm really interested in Falzarin's story right now, and I'm really digging it.
Yeah, it's interesting for me too. I'm finding it really fun.
I hate to admit it, but I'm kind of interested in your story too. I didn't think I would be.
There's my litmus test. So
I guess you're doing all right.
I don't know. I feel like Gozer had a lot of growth during our episodes. I feel like her killing him is maybe instinctual. I mean, I don't know her very well, but maybe.
I don't think so.
She's just straight chaotic.
Yeah, she's had a lot of blows recently, and she's just kind of done with life.
That's totally the read I'm getting on it too, Em. Like Gozer, but Gozer is just like, she's had a lot of shit thrown in her, just in the very, very short past here, and it's not going well for Gozer right now. Like,
nope. Gozer's not in a good place.
She's like lost though. You said lost. You said the word lost.
Well, and I also think if Gozer wasn't such an asshole, that she would be incredibly sympathetic.
Yeah.
But it's just the way Gozer is. It's always just difficult to empathize or sympathize for or with her. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's sad to watch, but it's like, that's what you get, Gozer. Be nice, maybe.
Everybody loves watching a train wreck,
Totally.
Gozer's a big train wreck.
Yeah, but you know what? I think Gozer is just a passenger on that train wreck. I don't think it's really a result of anything that necessarily a result of anything that Gozer has actively done or pursued. I just, I don't know. It just
keeps happening.
Yeah, I just feel it. I don't know. What do you think it's like Gozer's fault, Emily? Do you think it's?
Well, the initial thing where she tried to become chief, that was her fault. But, I mean, it had unintended consequences that sent her down the spiral.
That's true. But, I mean, that's also part of living in an orc society as a half-orc, especially, too, right?
Yeah, the fact that she was able to even have the chance to go after that is unusual, because she was a half-orc.
Right, absolutely.
But, losing her best friend and then having to run for her life and living for a year constantly afraid of retribution and hooking up with Shaft, and then she and Shaft never were friends. They were just
when you say hooking up with Shaft.
No.
I was about to say. That's
right.
complicated.
Meeting up with Shaft.
Hey, we said we weren't going to talk about that.
And then losing Thuft and losing everything that Thuft represented, i.e. the mountain and becoming king and being king and all that. And now she's sick, not feeling good. And nobody seems to care, which I wouldn't expect them to care, but they don't.
I would have killed you.
Would accuse us of not caring. And nobody seems to care.
Exactly.
Like, what?
That's the way that Gozer feels.
You just punched me last episode.
Exactly.
She's punched everybody.
Well, maybe if you would stop complaining about the lack of magical items, she wouldn't have to punch you.
Now, why has Falzarin been punched by Gozer?
Because Falzarin is an easy target.
Literally a punching bag.
You are a lower level than her in her mind.
I'm so glad Leland left that moment in, because you punched him, he goes 4 damage or whatever, and Bill just didn't write it down like he wasn't going to take those points. It stayed in the episode.
That was funny.
Oh, I love it.
Right now.
Smile.
Hand wave. It's like a gold piece, you know?
Do we have any, you have any questions from anybody?
Yeah, actually, there's a couple from, our usual Jessica.
Oh, okay.
So she starts off asking, how has it been going with having the guests on the show? I have to say I loved Adelaide, such a fun character, and I loved all the little details with the lucky shield and Knick-Knack the horse. I'm curious what kind of parameters were given for creating the character. It seems like you were moving towards, I guess this is directed towards myself. It seems like you were moving towards treating the guests like additional player characters instead of NPCs. Has that been easier? And then kind of additional, which we kind of touched on a little bit, we could probably elaborate on. She asked, what are your guys' top tips for character creation in Dungeons and Dragons? She also continues to say she's very impressed with the party remembering Brendel. I kept thinking they were going to forget him in that cave.
Falzern was not going to let that guy leave. I don't think anybody else cared but Falzern.
I think Shaft was the one that kept reminding
I
everybody.
was going to say, if we as people remembered, we would, purposefully make our character forget, I think. I don't know. Bryn didn't care. Elena remembered, Bryn didn't care.
If Gozer got to see Brendel be killed, that would be a happy day for her.
Oh my god.
Ruthless.
Wow.
So,
She's the he in her mind is the cause of Thuff's death. He didn't save him.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I think that's entirely unfair.
It is.
Yeah, I do too.
But it makes
Doesn't matter.
sense in her frame of mind.
You're right. Yeah, I agree, Elena. I think it totally does make sense for Gozer to think that way. Absolutely. I mean, I think Gozer thinks in absolutes, right?
Yes.
Very much of the time. There's very little gray with Gozer.
She wants somewhere to place her frustration too, right? So
Brendel's
That's
it.
true. Absolutely.
yeah.
You ought to be happy Brendel's there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
man.
Falsey would be getting punished. Well, yeah, Brendel's just there so Gozer can blame Brendel instead of herself, I think.
Probably.
There you
Ooh, getting
I don't know that
Getting
Gozer ever
deep.
would
Oh,
blame
man.
herself though.
I don't know if Gozer would, if she would in those exact words, but I think the equivalent of that maybe. I don't know.
Wow. Do you charge by the hour or what? Getting some therapy, baby.
I'm not even laying on the couch.
Gosh.
I say, so what was the question?
Yeah, what was the question again?
Do the first part.
I think it's obviously been really great having NPC guests. I mean, everyone we've had on has been awesome. I think we've all had a great time.
Yeah.
Despite, I've spoken disparagingly about having NPC guests on in the past and how much of a pain in the ass it is because of my lack of control that often happens. Because I don't have a DM to work out my issues with, so...
I charge by the hour if you want to talk to someone.
But I don't know, maybe Adelaide can speak to what kind of parameters were given to you for creating Orlain.
I'm pretty sure you were just go crazy.
Yeah, I was.
And to run anything by you. I went with standard 5e stuff, but I mean, there were a few things that I could have pulled out. One of my friends is a fantastic homebrew creator, and he has a huge list of things that I was kind of just perusing through, debating character options and things. But it was nice. It was nice to have the ability to kind of do whatever I want. But really, what was most important for me was that you gave me a healthy background of what was going on in the story, so that I could build into that versus you having to accommodate for whatever shit I was going to throw into the mix.
Right.
Yeah, I did want to ask you how much, when Shaft asks questions usually to NPCs, he throws things out there to see if you're gonna make something up or get information.
Because
give
John
information to
loves
us.
it when the NPC makes up stuff that Leland then has to incorporate into the story.
Yeah.
that's
So
the
my
real
question
reason.
is, you've done such a good job. I didn't notice anything that wasn't that you made
You'll never
everything up.
know.
Either you made it up or Leland gave it to you. I was going to ask you, how much did you make up?
I mean, there was like flavorful bits. The guards that was all me. The bits and pieces about like one being a chef, that was all me. I mean, just really fluff stuff. But she's a very helpful character, so she's not one to lie at all, especially to people that saved her life essentially.
Were you aware of the boxes, or did you have to go with it?
I was aware of the boxes. There,
okay.
he gave me, once I decided on my character, he gave me a full in-depth kind of crash course in what my character would know and where she came from, which was super helpful for me. That's what I really enjoy.
I think he's
If I ever-
he's got a checklist now of what we ask NPCs
Yeah.
every time we run into one. This is what you're going to
ask
say.
You about this stupid metal
blue
cube.
light.
Just pretend you know what they're talking about.
Oh, she's an ex-paladin of cultists.
Pretty much.
Of course you're going to ask her about the towers
Well, yeah.
and the cube and the
Right.
mechanical monster thingamajiggers.
Well, next time I'm not going to ask a
I
damn
literally
thing.
have a document with all of that information just laid out there.
Send it on over to us.
Yeah.
Actually, you guys probably could legit read it because it's all...
Probably
Well,
says
maybe
It's
not.
all information that I gave
Stuff
you.
we should
Yeah,
know, but
it's
not,
all-
might not remember.
Yeah, maybe. No, because I actually did the same thing with JT and Christy. Something that I didn't do with Pep and Patrick, just because of the way the role the latter characters or the former characters played into the current story and where you guys were. I felt it was necessary to do a quick like page write up narration of the events that taken you to where the party will meet you, basically. And I hope it wasn't too much. I always hope, I don't know if I'm writing too much, but if it helped, then that's
No,
great.
it was perfect. It was perfect.
Well, I mean, that's what I assume you're going to say, but just...
No, it was good. I'll tell you if it was crap or not. I'll be honest with you, but no, it was
No,
great.
I mean that
It was
because,
it was
of
good.
course, what I sent you was perfect, because I sent
Remove
you, so.
any sharp objects
Oh.
from the vicinity of your head, Leland.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
it's gonna pop.
Don't want to
I take it back. Take it all back.
Okay, what was the second part?
Just that, I touched on before how knowing Adelaide's experience that I could just treat her like she was another player. As literally, Adelaide, you're the first guest that I've literally just been like, yeah, why don't you roll up a full character at level 5 or whatever level, right? So I did treat you as a PC. It was quite refreshing. And so then she kind of asked for some top tips for character creation. Why don't we start with you, Adelaide? What do you think?
Music playlists.
Oh, yeah?
What?
Yeah, music playlists. All of my characters have Spotify playlists. All of them. I start out with a very loose idea in my head, as generally most people do, and a song idea that I think is fitting, and then I just kind of have that on in the background when I'm writing. Also, Pinterest. Okay, it's like the gold mine for character artwork and inspiration. Like, my process generally starts with seeing a portrait of something, of a character that just brings to life an idea in my head. And I think that's actually step one for me, is finding.
Do you
What the
search like
character
a
looks
race
like.
or a class on Pinterest?
Yeah, usually,
And
I
run
mean,
with
if
it?
yeah, when I was making my, I don't know, I guess my Asmar character, I searched, Asmar woman and scrolled for hours and hours and hours because I'm very picky, until I landed on one that was the very loose idea in my head, and that's when she formulated like, oh, this is her, and things just kind of clicked into place for me from there.
And then what
The
was
last
her
thing I
what
do
was her
is
song?
the character sheet. It's Agnes Obel. Familiar is the song. That's her theme song.
That is really cool. I've never heard anyone suggest anything like that. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
all of them. I've got playlists for every character I've ever made.
Oh man, we gotta come up with theme songs for our characters. For next
Oh, yeah,
episode.
totally.
You should do it. You should
I need
do
time.
it. It's so
Wow,
good. I
That's
don't know.
that is a great tip. I am much more. I think I'm less visual. I think I tend to what do I do? I don't know what I do. I actually don't know what I do. I don't know what the process is. I don't have a process. I'm just fucking all over the place. But like I don't. I think generally though, I think I start with my class, and then I build from there. So I choose out maybe some stereotypical aspects of that class and either lean into them or flip them, 180 them. I also really like to multi-class. So basically I know I will be multi-classing my character. So I always keep that in mind from the outset, from their build. Especially since, especially when you're starting campaigns at level 1, it's much more easy to think about that when you're starting at level 5, where you could already have this huge buffer of multi-climbing. You could class up to 4 and then first level of something, right? Like keep those ability score improvements, blah, 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 all that, min-max bullshit if you wanted to get into it, which I generally don't. I'm here for the RP.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I'm a former min-maxer that's been converted.
Oh yeah?
Oh, I can't min-max anymore. I mean, I only min-maxed for I guess like the first 2 years that I was playing D&D, because it was just not that it was easier. I guess it was still fun. But once I started getting into, I'm going to take all these spells and they're absolutely useless, but they are spot on for the character.
Right. Yeah.
What do you guys mean by min-max? I'm confused.
Essentially, I mean, not that min-maxers don't care about their backgrounds and being very truthful to their character, but min-max people that create sheets really want to go for the best possible stats, the best possible skills.
So why is it min-max? Why not just max? I don't get the min part.
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I'm like, do they like to take the best stats, and then there's people that like to take the crap stats and have the worst character? I'm so confused.
No, I think what it is again, if you're looking at a specific class, they say, okay, this handful of aspects is all I need to focus on, and I don't care about anything. I don't care about the rest of it. The rest of it I could have scores of 6 across these 3 stats of my abilities, and it doesn't matter because that's not what
I'm going to be the best
exactly.
at what I want to do.
Exactly.
So you min your other stats to max your other stats.
Yeah, I think there's less of a mechanical give and take that way, just in the way that in 5e, the way you just create your character. But yeah, exactly. That's basically the idea.
Yep.
Okay.
It's so much more fun to be all fluff, though. It's way more fun to just be completely fluff character.
Yeah. Well, I personally agree with that too. But I think that as someone who, especially like in board games, like I'll sit down with the rule book just because I like to read rule books. Mm-hmm. So I'm someone that enjoys seeing the mechanical interactions, the mechanisms of even a system as loose as 5e in a lot of aspects. I can see the enjoyment out of being able to put those pieces together and having a real amazing product at the end of it. So I definitely see the appeal for min-max playing for sure.
I'm just going to call it max.
Max. 18s across the board.
For character creation, I think the thing that the personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws really bring out your personality as a character. If you like to be a fighter type, there's a lot of different options there. If you want to be a magic user type or, a healer type, there's 5e, I think, mixes so many things together. You could choose about anything and have a subclass of something else. So I think the real true character comes out when you sort of put down on paper who you are. And that's where you sort of become, like, I'll read just Shaft's here, my original one. His personality traits are he's goal-driven, and he completes the task at hand and adjusts as required. His ideals are loyal to himself. His bonds are he owes money to people. And his flaws are he loves the ladies and ignores everyone else's plans. So
Love it.
I try to live to those. I think that's what creates who you are as a character. And that's what makes the game fun to play, regardless of your stats.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I play a cleric that doesn't heal.
Right,
so.
Exactly.
She doesn't revivify. She does. She heals a little bit, but she heals the absolute least out of the entire party, and she did not revivify at all for her personal philosophies until close to the end of the campaign. So
Right. Well, and that's totally brings up another point about all of those character aspects is that I think the best characters, those aspects change as you play. And so for me, a lot of the times, putting those ideals and bonds into like words and like actually just like literally a sentence of description, I find kind of difficult for myself sometimes, because I don't know why. I don't know if I feel like I'm maybe shoehorning myself into those like one-liners. But of course it doesn't, and it doesn't need to. And of course, that's, obviously that's me, but I will oftentimes leave some of them. Well, especially the traits. I mean, because you could have so many traits, but it's always.
I never fill those out.
Yeah, right. It's
I
always
never fill
fun
those out.
though to give yourself negative traits that come up as your character as you're playing,
Right.
and
Right.
develop more traits.
I think it gives you a thing to think about when you go, what would Shaft do? You sort of glance down and you go, yeah, I want to do this, but that's not what Shaft would do.
Yeah.
I
true.
think that it's a little reminder for me. And then I like
It's hard
things,
but rewarding.
I think we've talked about on after parties before. I think things like if you got an eye gouged out or you lost a finger, those kind of things are things that would come into play, right, into the narrative as you go, well, you can't do that because, you don't have a right hand. And, those kind of things I think would be really cool to add in. The flaws that happen throughout the campaign really bring out a character and how you're going to work around those issues.
Absolutely.
What about you, Gozer?
How do I create a character? I think, what do I want to be? And then I read a bunch of stuff, and then I just pick one. Whatever feels right. That's about it. I have never played a barbarian before, so I wanted to give it a try. I like being up front. I like beating on things. I don't like having to track spells, so I never want to do any kind of wizard or anything like that. So I thought, well, I'll give barbarian a try. And I've played half-orc before, and I really liked it. I like a lot of stuff that the half-orc has. So I thought that would be good.
Bill, Elena? How did you guys
Dude,
pick
we
what
don't
you did?
know.
I remember when we made your characters.
Yeah.
We didn't even have a race.
That's
We
true.
had
you could-
classes picked, but we didn't
Right.
even have races.
Well, I think maybe a
You
better
guys-
question for you two then is, how would you see yourself creating your next character?
There
Now you have
Ooh,
this
yeah.
this additional knowledge, and you are no longer, as dubbed by the Queen of RPG.
For
Noobs.
sure, I'm going to start with a playlist.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm very flattered. It really works. I'll send you mine after so you get an idea.
I'm actually really intrigued by that.
Yeah, I think in hindsight, I would echo a lot of what John said. The things that have really been a good investment in the time that I spent early on were fleshing out Falzarin's, I forget all the names for all those things you listed, but his bonds and flaws and those things. Those have been a lot of bang for my buck. Like, they've really helped influence, been kind of a guide for me to play Falzarin, and I think I found that the most enjoying too, thinking about how Falzarin thinks based on what I initially wrote down on the piece of paper, and that's changed a bit as has been touched on by you guys. But yeah, I think it's important to give your character some flaws as well. I really struggled with that initially, and I was all excited about all of these cool things and great ways that I could make my character fun and attractive to me with his traits. But I think having some flaws makes it really interesting long term too. So I would say don't neglect that.
Yeah, my thoughts are literally that I created this character that I was like, okay, well, what's best for Rogue? Okay, Elf. So then go with that. And then from there, on the spot, I was just like, what's best? And I did create some flaws and things, but like going forward, if I have to make another character, I want to be like over the top, exaggerating certain parts of myself, good parts, bad parts, whatever, so that like it's just we do role play a lot, and it's really fun to role play something over the top and dramatic and like not me or whatever. And
An orc rogue.
an orc rogue, a big, huge orc sneaking
Something
around.
unexpected, you know?
Yeah.
Just like
I think that's what makes the character stand
Yeah.
out as unique, right?
I want like I want to have like a defining physical trait. I want to have like something that everyone knows about me that's a flaw and a weakness, so they can use my weakness against me, but maybe a strength that they know they can call on me for, and things like that. Like, I want those to be a little bit more obvious than they were at first. And I don't know, I'm really enjoying playing Bryn. Recently, you haven't heard a few episodes yet, but I don't know, it's really fun to be a little over dramatic and like improv with it and just go with the character.
Google the dagger theory for character creation. That's a good staple. So the dagger theory is essentially you want to give your DM as many daggers that he can use against your character as possible.
Ooh.
It's gonna make the storyline so much better for you, so much more personalized for you. It's gonna hurt, but it's gonna be good. So,
Like, yeah, like if you were some kid that just like grew up and turned 18 and wanted to go on an adventure and leave your house, like, okay, kind of boring. But if you were like, if you turn that into something more interesting, like you've never made your own food before, or, you know, made your bed, or had to navigate the, like, just whatever flaws you can add on to it, right? Or
right, your mom's
or like you're
sick,
extremely
but you left her at home
homesick.
and-
Yeah, like it just makes it better.
I think it's been interesting since I've sent Leland quite a bit of just ideas and backstory on Shaft, just to give him the option of throwing it in or not, me not knowing what's going to happen. And I know it's probably not going to be good.
Right.
And I think that's what makes it exciting to me. When I hear a name the first time of somebody that I gave him something 2 months ago or 3 months ago as an idea, and it comes out and I go, oh, crap. Okay. Now I got to start thinking about
in
how
some
this
ways,
is gonna
character creation didn't end at episode 0 because,
No.
there's been ideas that we've all sent Leland in the background.
Right.
And
Oh, I add things to my characters all the
the
time.
listeners got a little glimpse of something going on with Bryn, so that's exciting. That was one of my ideas, yeah. Not in how you presented it, though. Like, you presented it in a way that I would have never predicted.
It sounds like that's similar to what's happened with you, John, where you've gave Leland stuff to work with and he weaves it in how and when he wants to.
Right.
Yeah, you say, what about
Absolutely.
this? And Leland shows up with that, you know, and you're like, what? My mind was blown. It was really cool.
It's exciting for me in those kind of moments.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't hear what he said, and I'll go, wait, what? I've even had to look stuff up and go, was that something I sent him?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? So, like, yeah, obviously I love it when you guys give me stuff, and it will usually never be implemented immediately unless there's a real great spot in which it applies and works.
Right.
And I think so far, everything I've added in certainly hasn't, to me, it hasn't felt like it's been shoehorned in, and I don't feel like I have. I hope it doesn't sound that way to the characters that have all the info. And you know, obviously, the listener's an idiot. They're oblivious. They wouldn't know anyways. They don't know their ass from a kettle, so that doesn't matter.
Stop
It's really
making fun of our loyal listeners. You're the worst.
Well, here's a way. I mean, you can always throw Leland off, like whenever you get to a new city, you know, like, hey, I know a guy. And he's got to come up with it on the spot.
Yeah.
I've done it before.
But see,
It's super
Leland
fun.
goes, you've never been to Pisces before.
yeah, usually.
But you knew a guy that moved to Pisces.
We were pen pals. What can you say?
I would never do anything like that. Okay, so I think we pretty much hit on everything. Did we have any shout-outs, Bill? You think you had somebody to...
I've been listening to a lot of the Stuff You Should Know podcast this past week, actually.
Oh, that's good.
I've listened to
That's a
them.
good one.
I mean, they don't need any help being popular, but I've listened to them a lot in the past and then kind of stopped listening to them for quite a while. But I listened to them talk about the Underground Railroad and Harriet Tubman, which was really good. And also, what were the other ones? Lewis and Clark was interesting, and they talked about something that I knew very, very little about, which was good to learn about.
The Trail of Tears was on.
Called The History of the Trail of Tears. That was very eye-opening and sobering to listen to, but it's good stuff.
They have a lot of good episodes. They also started doing the short stuff, which is like 15-minute episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're entertaining.
History is a huge gap in my knowledge, so it's good to listen to people who can explain it simply and succinctly.
Interestingly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotta keep my interest.
Yeah, they're funny.
Yeah, history can be boring, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And John?
Yeah, I was just going to bring up the animated spell book. That's on YouTube. The animated spell book's great. It's a little 2 or 3 minute short usually on a spell of some kind and how it works, and they do little animations of it. If you look up animated spell book on YouTube, you can find them, and they do one about every week or so. And I've posted a lot of them on our Discord channel for Bill.
Yeah,
So.
I love the animated. It's such a
Those are
good
fun.
YouTube channel.
I was gonna compliment the T-Hud podcast, but never mind. He doesn't want to.
Please. I think you've ever listened to my other podcast. Well, that's great. If no one else has anything else, then maybe Adelaide, you can give yourself some last plugs here, and we can finish out the episode.
Yeah, goodness. I have a lot of stuff upcoming. I've got an Urban Shadows game that will be starting on Sundays. It's a whole new system that's very, very new to me. It's very different than D&D. It's fantasy, but it's set in urban, modern world. And so that's going to be fun. I've got my show on Wednesdays, Scum and Villainy, that's on Little Red Dot's channel. And on Fridays, I play a Genesis system fantasy game that's on go_JG Twitch. So lots of stuff upcoming. And I'm going to PAX Unplugged. I'm super excited. My first tabletop convention.
Nice.
So
That'll be fun.
I know. I've been to conventions before, but never a tabletop specific one. So I'm really hyped about it. Meeting a bunch of people. So
Are all of those shows you mentioned on Twitch?
they are all on Twitch. And my Twitter is Adelaide, and my schedule's always there, so.
Perfect.
Oh, Adelaide.
Perfect. Adelaide. That's how I feel.
Well, it's great playing with you. We really had a good time.
Yeah.
I had a blast. Hopefully she can help you out in the future with getting you the boxes.
Yeah,
so.
come
Yeah.
play again.
Even if she just shows up as a non-me NPC, I wanna know.
No, I do not want Leland trying to do your voice.
I do.
Ain't nobody got time for
An Irish girl accent.
that.
I've been John.
I'm Emily.
I've been Bill.
I'm Elena.
I'm Adelaide.
And I'm Leyland Steele. Happy adventuring. And that's our show. Our intro and outro music was created by Josh Jarvis. For your own musical inquiries, contact jamesmercymusic@gmail.com. All other music and ambient noise is courtesy of tabletopaudio.com. The Incorrigible Party is sponsored by Critical Hit Design. Visit criticalhitdesign.com for all of your graphic design needs. You can find more info on the characters and world at incorrigibleparty.com. Enjoying the show? Have any questions or rules corrections? Email us, contact@incorrigibleparty.com, or reach out on social media. The Incorrigible Party on Facebook and Instagram, @IncorrigiblePar on Twitter, using the hashtag AfterPartyIP for a shout out during our behind the screen after party episodes that drop every 4th release. Happy adventuring!
But see, even though I had zeros, Bill, I would still
Yeah.
look over and double
No.
check.
I've not been adding anything to... If I'm not proficient, I add nothing to my rolls.
That's not smart. That's the
Well.
opposite of intelligent.
Intelligence was not my dumb
30 seconds
stat.
ago, you were asking if you were doing it right. Now that you found out you were, that Bill's a dumbass.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying. Okay.
Welcome to my life, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.